Hello and welcome. My name is Stefan Czech. I'm living in Germany. I'm a DOP, Steadicam operator and filmmaker. And today I want to have a look on the Canon EOS 5D Mark III with a new firmware update and the ability to record externally on Atomos Ninja-2. Now it takes 1 year and 1 month after the 5D Mark III hits the market that we get now the firmware update for a clean HDMI signal. I know there was a lot of people out there who was not really happy when this camera came out. Only the problem with the moire and the aliasing was more or less dissolved, and also the enhancement in the low light ability was there, but it was not enough. There was a lot of requests about this clean HDMI signal out of this camera. But in the end we have now the ability, and I want to explain what does this mean, a clean HDMI out, what is the advantage of this, and probably there is some more advantages to record outside of the camera. Probably more than you think before. Let's go to the firmware. There are mainly 3 points that was in the focus of the advertising of this firmware. First of all, a clean HDMI out. Clean HDMI out signal means you have no overlay transported over the HDMI cable to a monitor or field recorder. No overlay of this aperture and shutter speed and so on. All these things you see normally on the LCD. The second is that you have no compression inside the camera. It means it's an 8-bit 4:2 uncompressed signal. Uncompressed does not mean a raw footage, but believe me, there are lots of more advantage, more bug fixes in this software. So please visit the local Canon website and get about 15-20 points. They have enhanced or bug fixes. So please read carefully the advice on the Canon website. Over the years we have all the discussion about the picture quality out of this camera. And probably we have a big advantage when we have the ability to record outside of the camera. And today I want to show you the Atomos Ninja-2 because Atomos, this company, are familiar in the industry for field recorder, and especially they work together with Canon to get the optimum match between the field recorder and the camera, or the camera and the field recorder. And we will see there is a point in the new firmware that especially works only with the Atomos device. When you transmit this HDMI signal out of this camera, you also transmit the time code. So you have a time code inside the camera and the triggering of the time code outside the camera. When you're shooting with one camera, might be not the biggest advantage, but when you shoot with multiple cameras, it's absolutely necessary to have a time code for synchronizing the picture. But we have a small but. Everybody or nobody expect that we have a clean HDMI out without sound. And yes, we have no sound delivered over the HDMI to the external recorder. Might be a big problem, but to be honest, when I looking at this tiny little microphone built inside the camera, I have really concern if this is the best way to record sound. In my opinion, what you get with the built-in microphone of this camera is more or less a guiding sound, a reference sound for later synchronize the picture and the sound. Of course, you have the ability to record the sound in the Ninja, and if this is a big issue, this is the solution. This is a cable, you put it in your headphone jack of your camera and the other end in the Ninja in the audio in, and so you can record the sound from the microphone of the camera directly with your picture on the Ninja-2. If you want to do this, then you are sure that your audio quality will be better, because the preamp in the 5D Mark III or nearly in all these DSLRs are not really good. What is the Ninja-2 from Atomos? First of all, it's a field recorder. Means the signal from the camera came through the HDMI signal into the Ninja and will be recorded on hard drives. Simply hard drives, 2.5 inch for notebooks normally. So it's not necessary to have a really expensive SSD card. You can use SSD devices also, but a high quality hard drive works perfect. And you see, with 500 gigabyte hard drive for around 55 euro, it's a really inexpensive storing device. Inside the Ninja you have to choose between two different codecs. First of all is the Avid DNX HD codec and the ProRes codec from Apple. In the ProRes codec you have the choice between three compressions: the LT, the ProRes 422 and the ProRes 422 HD. And I really recommend it to record on the ProRes 422 HD with 220 mbits per second. So this is a really good codec. It is worldwide accepted on broadcaster, means the footage from your 5D Mark III recorded on the Ninja in ProRes 422 HD will be accepted worldwide as footage for documentaries, for music videos, for feature films or whatever. Nevertheless, of course, you can choose another codec to have more record time, but to be honest, 5.5 hours in the best codec on 500 gigabyte, it's really good. If you want to record longer, yes, it's possible. Then put in 1 terabyte card into the Ninja. And yes, you can record really long in one piece if you want. If you record internally in the camera, of course after 29 minutes 59 seconds it stops because of the European tax regulation. But if you leave the camera in standby, delete all or switch off all these automatics shutdowns, look for constantly voltage or a power up of this camera, then you are able to record 5 or 6 or 10 hours in one piece if you want. Okay, it's depend on your need, but for instance you want to have a concert or a documentation or an interview over a long period of time, now it's possible to record in a superb codec and a superb picture quality. And when we want to see more advantage of external recording, as I said, we recorded on hard drives. Hard drives, 55 euro approximately for a Western Digital 500 gigabyte, 7,200 rounds per minute, and you have your storage with you. There is no need, if you want, there is no need to buy an additional hard drive to storage this. You put it out of this Ninja, put it in your closet, and it's okay. Probably you want to have a backup, that's okay, but you save to buy another additional hard drive. So you see, it's a little bit different than to record on your internal CF card. I make a little calculation. So if you storage 340 minutes for 55 euro, it's approximately €1.60 for 10 minutes storage. The next advantage of this kind of workflow is the ProRes codec. There are lots of professional editing systems out there. Some of them works really smoothly with everything, but there's a lot of other editing systems, they can't do this. But most of them, or nearly all, the major player works really smoothly with the ProRes HD codec. Means when you record it like this, you can work in Final Cut Pro, Final Cut X, Avid Media Composer, Adobe Premiere, and of course EOS, absolutely without any conversion. There is no need to recalculate, to manipulate all this stuff. You save time, you save of course hard drive space, because it's not need to have the original file and the converted file. So this is another advantage to record in a familiar, worldwide accepted high quality codec. Another interesting thing is that many cameras, prosumer cameras, also like the C100, so the 5D Mark III, do the same. Internal recording is in a PAL region 25p, but over the HDMI signal they deliver a 50i signal. It's not a real interlaced, but it's something like this, because HDMI was normally built up for LCD screens and they like to have this interlace footage. But in the end you want to record externally, of course, your progressive footage, right? Not a big deal. The Atomos Ninja-2 perfectly works with a 3:2 or 2:2 pull down. Means automatically recognize the fields and put it together to the progressive footage. Coming back to the Ninja is also a field monitor. And as a field monitor, you have, of course, division, the preview of the picture, and you have some additional things normally we have not in a DSLR. First of all is the peaking. The peaking is a edge enhancement that's showing with a color border where is my focus point. Of course, I can change the color of this peaking. So we have red, we have blue, we have yellow, we have white, and it depends on your taste which color you want to use, and of course of the framing. So if you have a picture with a lot of red in there, it makes no sense to pick up a red peaking, right? The next three things are for the aperture adjustment. First of all, it's the zebra. The zebra are lines in 45 degrees and showing which part of the picture are overexposed. You can adjust how strong this zebra reacts. So normally for things you take 100%, so it means everything it's over 100% will showing as this 45 degree lines. For skin tone like this, you probably take goes a little bit down to 70%, because skin tone it's much more difficult to adjust right, not to overexposed. The next is the false color. In this picture, everything in the framing shows you in a specific color if it's over or underexposed. And then we have the blue only. Blue only shows a black and white picture generate from the blue channel of your picture. But also you can watch your recorded clips on the Ninja, and a little bit more. You can scrub through these scenes, and you can highlight it, that you can say this is my favorite. And of course you can say between in and out points, this is my favorite. You can export this editing list to an XLM, and at the moment it's only for Final Cut X relevant. You can export this list and import in your Final Cut X. And the first time you compare the footage recorded on 420 and 422, with the naked eye it's really hard to see a big difference. There is not a big difference in dynamic range or raw improvement of this picture. It's not sharper, it's not more contrast. The record file on the Ninja-2 is a little bit lighter and a little bit more colorful than the recorded image in the 5D Mark III. But when you look it closer on a technical side, you have the double amount of color information in a 422 signal, what now comes out of the HDMI port of the camera. The double amount of color information you might not see directly on your screen with the naked eyes, but with a trick you can make it visible. I have this clip and I put on this clip a chrominance filter. Then I choose a color range, a particular color range, and put a key on. With the key sign on, you see all the color matching into this particular selected range. And what you see here is the flickering pattern, you see which color from the picture fit into this color space. And here we see the 420 color space, and here is the footage in 422 color space. And you see there's a dramatic enhancement of the information of this color, especially when you have a gradient in the color, then you have much more information. For what you need this information? Of course, for color correction, for color enhancement, for color adjustment. And color adjustment is not only to make this picture look better. Most of the time color correction is to fit with other scenes from other camera or shooting on another light environment. So color correction is essential. And now you get a little taste of what it means to have the double amount of color information in this footage. Now let's go to the 5D Mark III and the Ninja, and we have to do some adjustments in the 5D before we bring the HDMI devices together, because otherwise we can't go on this particular point in the menu when there is already a connection over HDMI. Okay, now let's have a closer look to the menu and all the adjustment you have to do on the 5D Mark III before you attach any HDMI device. Make sure that the camera is set on video mode and not on photo mode. So let's go to the first menu and then the fifth point. Make sure that the HDMI cable is not connected during this setup. First of all, you have the time code. Set the time code on free run. My personal favorite is the movie record and the movie play count is always on time code. You can choose between record time or time code. I leave it on time code. And this is a really important, little bit hidden point of the HDMI. Here you can decide what's happened with the time code. So first of all, you put the time code on. Now the record command on. It means now you can trigger an external device over the HDMI cable with the timecode and with the record command. If you find your menu in this color, disconnected the HDMI cable, now you can go down to HDMI and set timecode and record command on. You have two caddies. Now you put your brand new hard drive in one of these caddy and tighten up these screws, but not over tighten this. The only thing you have to do is now to put the caddy into the Ninja. When you put a fresh hard drive in, go on the hard drive, in this case 500 GB Western Digital, and then go on format. Now you have to format the hard drive. Please always format the hard drive into the Ninja, not in your computer system, always in this format. Okay, now let's have a closer look to the Ninja-2. When you turn it on, you see this starting menu. You have the record, play, mon and menu button. At the beginning, of course, there is no input, as you see on the left corner. Then you go first to the menu. It's the first time that you start with Ninja-2, then you have to adjust the proper date and time, of course. Then let's go to the timecode. Now we have different options to adjust, and in this point we want to connect the 5D Mark III with a new firmware with a Ninja-2. First we have to choose the camera. We have Panasonic, Red Epic, Sony, Canon, Arri and none. So we go through to Canon, and now the source may be HDMI. At the moment we have no connections between this both camera because the cable is loose. And now put the HDMI cable into the Ninja. And now, hey, we see an 1080i50 signal comes into the Ninja, and we see a running number. This running number is the timecode. So everything is good. Probably except the point with the 1080i50. It's not a problem. The camera runs on 25p, and so you only have to tap on this point, and the Ninja will automatically now records in 1080 25p. Now let's tap on monitor, and we see the picture from the camera. Nice and clean. This is one option. The other way is to go to the menu, go to the point, is in the first menu, the fifth point, HDMI out plus LCD, mirroring. When you go on set, now you can choose go on the mirroring. Mirroring means that you have the same picture from the camera in the camera and on the external device, but you will not get any overlays from the camera to the Ninja. I go back, wait on the picture, and now you see you have all the overlays from the info on the 5D, but you have an absolutely clear picture on the Ninja. Let's go to menu 3 and the third point. It's called control over HDMI. This point is so special because it only works with the Ninja-2 at the moment. Let's go and enable this little feature. Go to menu and then push the start stop button. You see record Intel in the camera and you see the red bars. It means it records also on the Ninja. This is the trigger, the triggering of the record start and stop from the camera to the Ninja. Push the button and it stops on both devices. And if you ask what is so special that you have to trigger from the camera the recording also on the Ninja. Before I get the 5D Mark III, I have the 5D Mark II. And on this camera, you always push the set button for record, right? And I think I'm not alone. When I switched to the 5D Mark III, at the beginning, not in the first days, on the first weeks, I always push the set button when I want to record until I get, okay, I have to push the record button. You see what I mean? But you can also trigger the record on the Ninja. So at this time, it only records on the Ninja, not on the camera. And I want to show you some things. It might be really interesting to record only externally on the Ninja-2. So what do you do normally on a DSLR when you want to find the focus? So I push 1 time and I get a 5 times magnification. And now I can choose where in this picture I want to have this magnification. When I push the second time, I have a 10 time magnification of this picture. Okay. When you are in the magnification and then push the record button, what happened on the 5D? It jumps back to the full size and record. And now it starts to become interesting. You see the magnification on the Ninja, and when you push now record on the Ninja, you will record this. This is the normal scene. This is the full size, shooting with a 50mm 2.0 from size, distance approximately 1 meter. And this is the head of this wooden figure blow up in the editing system on 420%. And this is the picture recorded on the Ninja-2 while I have the magnification on in the Canon. You have not a 16:9, you have a 40:3 picture, but when you little bit blow up on 120%, you get a absolutely border-free image. And when you see the sharpness, and this is the 5 times magnification, and this is the 10 time magnification. It seems the same like a blow up on 800% on the editing system. Okay, you say this is not the same quality as the normal picture. You are right, but it looks much better than you try to blow up this in the editing system. But here's a tip from me. When you want to record 1 hour, 2 hours or longer on the external recorder, keep in mind that the camera by itself warms up, especially when the built-in LCD is on. When the camera warms up and the LCD is really close to the sensor warms up too. A warming up sensor means you get more noise in the signal. Go into the menu and switch off the mirroring. Means you have only the signal on the HDMI device. In this case, you will see the overlays from the Canon on the screen of the Ninja. But you can get rid of them or steps through the information button until you get a clean screen. On the left side, you see 2 HDMI, 1 in, 1 out. Below there is the analog sound in and the headphone jack. On the back side there are space for 2 batteries. When you want to power up, you go on the battery and you see now at the moment we have only 1 battery. Put the battery always on place 1, otherwise the Ninja wouldn't start up. Put another battery on. And now you see, okay, we have a fresh battery and you can swap easily from one to another if you want. Otherwise it will be switched automatically when the first batteries is at the end. On the right side we have the on button. We can use it as an lock or unlock button, so you can lock the screen. And this is the release button for the master caddy. Put it in, here the click, ready to go. So in this case I have a wireless transmitter for the audio system. I record my speech or my sound over the wireless system. Put it directly into the Ninja, and so I get my sound and my picture together. On default, the Ninja records the sound from the HDMI signal. Tap on this button and now you are in the audio menu of the Ninja. As you see, here you can decide which you want to record. And when you look a little bit closer, you see there is a sign because of the input signal from the wireless system. Now I have to choose to record this, and you will see it becomes red, and the yellow bars show my speech. And now you have also select the output. So this is important when you want to record the audio in the Ninja, to switch from the default setting of HDMI input to the analog audio input. Here you have also the ability to adjust the analog gain in. What I really recommend is this device. It is from Sakuto, it's called the Pincher. And this device secures the connector to the DSLR camera. And that's really important because it is a tiny little connector, and if you bring any force on them, you step on the cable, you get some force on them, you definitely will damage the connector in the camera, and it costs a lot of money, several €100 to repair this. So this kind of securing the HDMI cable to the camera is, in my opinion, really necessary. Steadicam operation is one of my profession, and with these smaller systems you normally don't need any attached monitors. The big Steadicam you have always on the side. The smaller, like the HD 1000, 2000, 4000 with an X10 west and arm support, you have it right in front of you. But what is when you turn the camera around to shooting backwards? Probably when someone follows you and you want to keep in front of the person. So now you have no vision on your monitor. For this is the external monitor absolutely perfect. So I can walk like this and watch my shot. To put a monitor additional to the HD 4000 from GlideCam, it's only need to have a small ball head in the front and to drill a hole in near the bottom and near the top of the center post. And I need this to bring the HDMI cable from the camera to the Ninja. And when you have set the balance, everything is fine and you can work with this Steadicam like this. So the Ninja works really well with this, but one thing you have to think about is if you try to build it on something movable, including a motorcycle or a car. Inside there is a spinning hard drive, so don't overwork it. Keep always in mind you have a moving memory system. So if you have such proper things like helicopters, cars, motorcycle, or something in the outdoor, probably you recorded this on a CF card. It's safer. And that they work probably together. This is not an accident. Because Atomos and Canon works together since months. So they work together for the C100 to figure out which command the C100 had to give to the Atomos. And also Atomos works together with Canon on this project. So Atomos was the first company they show on the NEB 2013, it's 3 weeks ago, a pre-version of this firmware to demonstrate how the 5D Mark III with the new firmware 1.2.1 works properly with the Atomos Ninja-2 together. And because there is definitely a huge request on this combination, Atomos dropped the price of the Ninja. So it was approximately 850, 880 euro before. They leave the rugged case and put one battery by the side. Makes a little bit smaller the package, but it's absolutely everything in what you need, and bring it out for 650 euro, included tax. So you get the Ninja-2, you get one battery, it's an NP battery from Sony, you get a battery charger, you get a docking station for the master caddy, you get 2 caddies for additional hard drives. If you need more of these caddies, you get a package of 5 for 20 euro. And you have an SC adapter if you want to run for 5 or 10 hours. Don't put a battery on, plug the Ninja into an AC powering. But there is something special as an addition, because some people said, hey, I have this battery for my particular camera, the 5D Mark III or the Nikon D800, and so Atomos offered also a combination of, it's a kind of adapter, they're coming on this NP battery packs, and now you can use the batteries from the 5D Mark III or the Nikon D800 on your Ninja. Right at the moment, at the end of April 2013, this is not available, but it will be available in July 2013. And every customer that goes on the website of Atomos and registered his Ninja-2 will get this adapter for his specific camera in June. This is a deal? I think yes, it is. What you also need is a HDMI cable and a hard drive. The HDMI cable is not included because there are so many different combinations. So for instance, if you have the Ninja and a C100, you need a normal HDMI cable with a normal connector. If you want to have it on a 5D Mark III, you need a normal on one side and a mini HDMI on the other side. Or probably you want to have a longer cable, but beware, longer cables, longer than 7.5 meters, HDMI became tricky or not working. Probably you want to use it on a crane or on a jib, put the camera in front, have a longer cable and put it in your Ninja, and you can record it from the Ninja and not from the camera. So we are at the end. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you get some of the answers you're looking for. I know there was a lot of people looking for this kind of information like me to play with the new firmware and external recorder. At the moment, the Ninja-2 from Atomos is definitely the best package with a 5D Mark III because everything works smoothly together. The firmware is nearly adapted to this field recorder. So if you like this, probably you want to visit my website stefan-czech.de or .com. You're welcome on my YouTube channel or my Vimeo channel. Most of them are in German language, but there's also more and more coming in the English version. So you're very welcome to leave a comment if you like it. If not, sorry for that. And by the way, always think these are really nice tools in your toolbox, but the powerful tool you have is your creativity. If you have a good content, if you have a good story, then it's up to you to tell the story with all these fantastic tools and make a good film. For this, with best regards, your Stefan Czech.